Hi guys, welcome to another video. I really appreciate your time. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much. If you're first time here, please subscribe. And I really appreciate your time. I know there are many videos out there you could be watching, so I really appreciate you stopping to watch my video. So today I'll talk about something which is there and something which people don't really know, especially people in Africa don't know, but it happens more than you want to think. And that's being stranded in Europe, mm, or being trapped in Europe. Um, it's something that happens so many times. It's just people don't speak about it, especially if you are already here. Why would you tell your family back in Africa that you are stranded or that you are trapped? So it's not something people talk about, but happens more than you want to believe. You find that somebody comes to Europe maybe with a tourist visa or a business visa for 1 week or 1 month. Yet when they came, they had other plans. They already know that they are not going back, or they don't plan on going back immediately. So they stay here, and once the visa is done, they become illegal here. And before you know it, you have run out of money, you have run out of places to stay, you have run out of friends because nobody's willing to put you up. And things just go bad from there. I have somebody I know who came here, friends invited him. He was already in another part of Europe, so he decided to come to Switzerland. Friends told him to come. Then what I heard is that they welcomed him in a bar. From the bar, they went to the disco. And remember, the guy still has his traveling suitcase or whatever. So I don't want to think of how they handled this. Still, as far as I understand, they took him to bars, they took him to disco. Then from there, people just started disappearing. The friends who came with him, the friends who welcomed him here, who welcomed him, started to disappear one at a time. He said one gave him 20 francs, the other gave him 50 francs, and like that. But before he knew it, everybody was gone. He's there alone. It comes the time the disco is closing and you have to go out. So this person had to sleep in a park. And I must say he was just lucky he came in the summer, because you cannot sleep in the park in the winter. And the next day, he just had to find his way, and that's how he got trapped here. You find that you don't have the means of going back to where you came from, and you don't know where to go next, and you are trapped. And this usually happens for people without any legal papers. Somebody will say, like they always say, my in-laws. It's like, oh, things are not moving to in Italy. Come to Switzerland. You come, then you find that these people who told you to come over don't have any proper living arrangement. And when you come, they can't take you to where they are living. So you are just left there trapped. And this happens more than we think. Then your family in Africa keep thinking, why is this person not coming back? Why is this person not coming back, but in reality, you are trapped. You are stranded. And once this happens, you have overstayed your visa. You really have a hard time. And or I will call it sleeping rough and staying rough. For most of these people, sleeping rough. Along the way, your passport will get lost. Then you are just trapped. And once this happens, you just don't have a way out. I know people here who have been here for 10 years, 15 years, and they still don't have any legal papers for anywhere. So they keep moving from one city to the next, or this year or 2 years they are in Italy, then they're in Spain, they're in Austria, and they just keep on moving. It's like moving with the wind. And I've always asked why these people don't just go back home. And from what I understand from my in laws, sometimes some people sell their land to come to Europe. So then you realize, how can I go back? I don't have money that to buy another land and such things. So the years just go on. You are really trying to survive, and maybe the little cash you can get here and there, the first thing you will do is to send it back home, because most of us Africans, we need to send money back home. So the little cash you get here and there, you send it back home. Then they don't realize what you are going through. And many people, so many, more than you can think of, are trapped here. They are stranded here. And some know it, some don't know it. But I think if you've been in a place for 10 years and you don't have a place to call home, or you find yourself squeezed in one single room with the roommate, not because it's what you want, but it's because that's what you have to do. You can't rent an apartment on your name, then you are stranded, if you want to accept it or not. So this happens to so many people, uh, whether they accept it or not. Most will not tell you, but it happens. So what do most people do once they get stranded? Hmm. Uh, it is what it is. So as much as I hate to say it, I will just say it so that anyone thinking of coming to Europe should know what to expect. You find that some people end up getting married to people they don't like, to people who could never even be their friends. You find, for example, today on my way, I was out. Then I saw an ex-girlfriend to somebody I knew. This is a 66 or 68-year-old woman, and this man was under 25. So, really, tell me what relationship is there? I'm not a teenager, but I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to be going to bed next to an 85-year-old man every day. No, that's not what I want. But many times you find that our brothers and our sisters find that they have no choice than to marry these grandfathers and grandmothers. Uh, because let's be honest in one thing, you are not 20, you will not find, you are 20, you are from Africa. It's very, very, very almost impossible to find your age mate who is a Swiss who wants to marry you. It's just almost not there. The person you will find is let me just call it this way. It's a reject. You will find somebody with history, somebody who has been married, somebody who has, don't misunderstand me, we all have our history. But I'm 25. If I'm 25, I don't want to marry a 60-year-old man with kids who are older than me. That's not how it's supposed to be, but that's what happens most of the time, or that's what happens to people who are trapped in Europe. They have checked all the avenues, they realize there's no way out. Then in the end, you even consider yourself lucky if you can find that grandmother or grandfather so that you marry them so that you can get legal papers. And it's crazy, it's crazy. Um, I met a lady once, a Kenyan lady, and she told me, so cool. You know what? I'm wife number 7, and I was, oh, do you think you are better than the other 6 before you? And at least she was very honest with herself. She told me, no, I'm not better. And the same wrong the other 6 were doing is the same wrong I will be doing. So I'm just waiting for my time until he walks out. So at least she was very realistic. And you find that this happens to many of us once you are stranded in Europe without papers. You find that you have to, you really have to settle for less. Uh, you find that you have to settle just for that paper and nothing else. You are tired of being homeless. You are tired of not knowing where you will sleep next. You are tired of being stopped by the police on the street. Um, let's put it this way. People in Italy are very lucky. In Italy, you can say you can live there 10 years without any legal papers. The police may stop you and let you go. Same case applies with Spain. They just do say these countries don't have the budget to repatriate people. But in Switzerland, it's very, very quick to be deported. So people without legal papers do try to avoid this place, then go to places like Italy and Spain. This is the, let's call it this way, this is the sitting room for people without papers. They will go to Italy and Spain because they know in Italy, police can arrest you for being illegal, but they will set you free. But in Switzerland, is not very common. Or you might be lucky 1-2 times, but then the third time, you know that you are getting out. But I've known people in Italy or Spain who have been there for 10-15 years and they still don't have any legal papers, and they still manage to survive. Or sometimes another group of people we have to settle for, and I'm sorry to say this, but this is mostly for men than women. You find that most women have to accept settling down with junkies. I don't know why, but they are somehow easier to marry because they're also tired, they don't have a reputation, and they wouldn't really find their countryman to marry them. So you find that quite a lot of men do settle down with junkies or ex-junkies. At least this ones you can find somebody who is closer to your age, but this is also not the kind of person I want to be my girlfriend or boyfriend and such stuff. But you find that many of our brothers accept to settle down with these women to get the papers. So it is like this. Women will settle with much, much older men with a long history, and men also settle with much, much older women with long history, or they settle with junkies, and it is what it is. Maybe they wouldn't want to say it out loud, but that's a fact. I have been here long enough to know these things. So how can you avoid being stranded in Europe? There is really, really no way. I don't know any way around it. I think for people who find themselves without any legal papers, you just have to go home. Or if you feel you are not yet ready to go back home, uh, countries like German or Austria and Switzerland, these I will say stay away because they deport people very fast. But if you find yourself in a position, you know that you don't want to go back home, you still want to stay here even without the papers, then you should consider going to Italy or Spain. But now, having said that, you tell me how you want to earn an income without legal papers, or where you want to be living without legal papers. And once again, as I said before, it is doable in Italy. It is doable in Spain. As crazy as it sounds, I know an area in Spain where it's just, okay, it's this neglected area, totally neglected. It's like you are in Africa. It's like a place where you have to take your bucket to go and bring water from outside, and you have to boil your water in a sufuria when you need to shower. It's totally neglected. But you will find that people who have been there before, who accept the situation, will rent bigger apartments. And since it's a neglected area, it's affordable. So they will just rent bigger apartments, then sublet room for room, or put 2 people per room. Then they will just overcharge it a little bit to make their money from there. So anyone who don't want to go back to Africa, they should try Spain and try Italy, because it's also doable in Italy. It's the same thing. You find this not so loved, let's call it that way. These not so loved areas, not so loved apartments, but you will find Africans living there who have been there for a while or for a long time. Then they will just sublet you a room, or sometimes they just call it bed space. So they will sublet you bed space, and you see how things go on. Anyway, guys, I have to say, what did I want to say? Before I say it, please subscribe. I'm waiting. And leave me a comment below. I hope you did that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. So guys, what I wanted to say is I consider myself very lucky. I didn't even know how lucky I was, because when I came to Switzerland, I already had my residence permit here, and I didn't even know it. So that was very, very, very lucky for me. And things have worked well for me since I came here. And it's been a long time. I'm more home here than I am in Kenya, but yeah, that's how it works. So I really hope before you let yourself get stranded here, I hope you will think of what's best for you, what makes sense, because at the end of the day, Europe is not everything. There are people in Africa doing well, so you just have to know what's right for you and what's not. For me personally, this is what's right for me. Home is here. There will be a time, I don't know when, maybe when I will think I want to be in Africa, but for now, home is here and I'm totally okay. I wouldn't change it for anything for now. Also, guys, thanks so much. I really appreciate your time and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye bye.